In this video, I would like to show you how to set up Eclipse to do C program development. So the first thing is we need to download all of the software. And there's really three software tools that you will need. You will need Cygwin for the C compiler and toolchain. You're going to need JDK from Oracle, the Java Development Kit, and you're going to actually need the Eclipse package itself, the Eclipse IDE for the GUI to actually do the program development. So let's get started. So the first thing is we want to get the C compiler. So this is going to be at cygwin.org. And you're going to need to download the setup file, and you need these four packages. You need GCC Core, GCC G++, GDB, and Make. So you want to get those four within the devel option. So let me show you that. So the first thing is you want to go to cygwin.org. And you want to download this executable file, setup x8664. So you just download this file, and once you download it, it'll look like this: setup x8664 application. So you want to double click on this and just follow all the prompts. Install from internet. It's going to put it in the C Cygwin64 directory. Next. Select a download site, so you can just pick the first one. Okay, so when this comes up, you're going to see select packages, and that's what I was showing you here, is that you need to get these four packages. Okay, so let's get back here. So category package all, you want to go to this DEVEL option, and you're going to grab GCC Core, and here I've already actually got it, but if you haven't downloaded it, it'll probably say skip here. So you just come over here to this drop down and just pick like the latest version here. So that's where you would actually select it. So because I've already done this, it shows these as not saying skip, but see how these others say skip? Like for this one, you would come over here and just grab like the latest version. But since I've already done it, I've already got the versions here. But those are the four you need. You need GCC Core. Okay, you need GCC G++, GDB, and Make. Which is here, Make. So again, just come over to this drop down menu and select like the latest version. Okay, and then basically you would just click next, and it may say like install, so you want to do that. So you basically just follow all the prompts, but I wanted to show you how to actually select those four packages. Okay, and so aside from that, you would just follow the next or install or whatever it says to actually get it downloaded. So since I already have it, I'm just going to go ahead and cancel out here. Okay. All right, so that takes care of getting the C compiler. Next thing we want to do is make sure you download from Oracle's website the JDK executable. So here's the website. So you just come here. Now you're going to have to create an account for Oracle, but it's free. Here, see, I can sign in or I can create an account. Just sign in. Okay, and the one you want is the Java SE Development Kit 11.0.8, and you want the Windows 64 installer. So you would just select this guy right here, this executable. And once you do that, you'll get this application here, JDK 11.8 Windows x64 bin, and double click that and just go through the normal setup process. Okay, so we've got the Cygwin set up where I've shown you which packages to select, and now the JDK, you double click that and that would set up the Java Development Kit. And the last thing is the actual Eclipse itself, and that's going to be the one for C, C++ developers. So you go to here, Eclipse, and I've shown you the website. Scroll down here to this Eclipse IDE for C, C++ developers, Windows 64-bit, if you're using Windows, and just click on that and download, and that will give you this folder. Okay, so you're going to get this zipped folder here, and then you would extract all to get the unzipped folder. And if you double click on that, double click, then you've got the Eclipse application, and that's what we want to use to do the C programming. So we want to use the Eclipse application, and I've actually got a shortcut here, an Eclipse shortcut. So double click that. Now it's going to ask you for a workspace, and you just put in basically where you want to store all your work. So I've got this here in this path here on my USB drive, but you just pick wherever you want the workspace to be. I mean, that's what you're always going to use the same workspace, and just create and store your projects within that workspace. So I'm going to leave it the way it is right there for now, and go ahead and click launch. And so it comes up here. Now sometimes you may see a welcome screen, which is okay. If you see the welcome screen, you can just close that out. But the main thing we want to do now is create a project. Okay, we want to create a project, so you can just click here, create a new C or C++ project. You could also go up here to File, New, C, C++ project, however you want to do it. So I'll just select it here, create a new C or C++ project, and we want to do a C managed build. Okay, click next. And we want to do an empty project, and I'm going to use Cygwin GCC because that's what I downloaded. Project name, I'm going to call this ASCII art. So this will be my first project, ASCII Art, empty project, Sigwin GCC, and we're going to click Next and select configurations. Just go ahead and you can just leave the debug and the release is fine, just the default, and hit Finish, and that will create the project. So here it is, ASCII Art. If we expand this, you'll see it's got some includes here, but we don't actually have a program yet. So all we have is we've created a project, but the project's essentially empty, except for these includes. So what we want to do is create an actual .c file. So we go File, New, Source File, and it's going to be in the ASCII Art source folder. So that was my project, and I'm going to give it the same name. So I'm going to call it ASCII Art, and I want to do .c. So my source folder will be ASCII Art. My source file will be ASCII Art.c, and finish. And now I've got an actual source file. And see how it just gives you this kind of standard header here. And I'm going to delete that because I've already got files I want to work with. So I'm going to go grab ASCII Art.c and copy and paste that in there. Of course, if you if you didn't already have a file, you would just start writing your code inside this window here. But I already had a file, so I just pasted it in, and now we have a file. So you go up here, you can do save. So that's going to save. That's going to save the file, and there it is. Okay, so if you look here, you can see under the project, we've got the includes, and we've got our source file. So now we need to actually build this, and the way you build this is go up to Project, Build Project. So I'm going to build the project. Okay, and I've got 0 errors and 0 warnings, which is good. Okay, and now you can see it added, let's see, binaries, but also this debug folder. So it's got this debug folder. So now I've actually got an executable file. And the last thing we need to do, so after we've built the project, we need to run the project. And one way you can do that is under this thing called launch configurations. And so what you can do is just click on this and do new launch configuration. And I'm going to launch this, the mode I'm going to launch in run mode, and it's a C++ application. And I'm actually going to, it gives you this kind of default, but I'm going to just kind of rename this _run. So I'm going to call the application launch, or the launch configuration, ASCII Art run, and the project's ASCII Art, and the application is actually in the debug folder. So remember, the debug folder has the actual executable file. So this should be populated by default, and you just give it a name for the launch configuration, and hit apply and finish. Okay, and now you go up here, we've got ASCII Art run, and we can just click on this launch and run mode. So this green circle with a triangle, and there it is. So on the console, all this is doing is printing out. It's just using a bunch of printf statements. So a bunch of printf statements to just print out some graphics here. Okay. So that's it. That's how you develop a C program within Eclipse. Now I'll do. The thing is, you probably will be doing more than one project. So let me just show you that real quick. So I could add. So I'm in the same workspace, but let me add a new C project. C managed build. This one I'm going to call sizes, and this is going to be an empty project, and Sigwin again. Next, and just do the default, finish. Okay, so now I've got a sizes project, just like I had an ASCII art project. And again, I need to add a source file. So let's add a source file, and I'm going to call it the same thing, sizes.c, and hit finish. So now here's ASCII art.c, but I want to work with sizes.c. And I've got another file here. I'll paste that in. And all this is doing is just showing the sizes of different data types and how much memory they occupy and their ranges, things like that. It's just kind of a yeah, just showing you different data types. So anyway, let's go ahead and save. I'm going to save that. Okay, and I want to build it. So I'm going to go to project, build project. Now I've got, see how I've got that debug folder again, and I've got these binaries. So the debug has the executable file, right? And so what do I need to do next? Well, I need to select or make another launch configuration. So I'm going to go here to new launch configuration, run C application, and again, I'm just going to call this sizes underscore run. Project sizes, the application's debug sizes.exe, apply, and finish, and that's it. Okay. So now if you come up here, you can see that I've got my two configurations, but now I want to run sizes. So I'll go ahead and run that. And see how this just prints out like a character, you know, is 8 bits. So it occupies 1 byte in memory. A short integer takes up 2 bytes, so on and so forth. So this is kind of just showing you, you know, how much memory each data type occupies and the range of values. So if you declare a long integer, then you've got this range of values you could use to put in to store in that memory. And then if I want to go back and hey, I want to run my other program, I just go to ASCII art run. And run. Okay, so now I just ran the ASCII art program. Go back to sizes. Go back to sizes and run that one. Okay, so that's pretty cool. Okay, and I want to do one more. I'm going to do one more. So I'm going to do file, new C project, C managed build, and this one's going to be smallest number. Finish. Okay, and of course, what do I do next? I need to create a new source file. Oops, let me select that, smallest number, file, new source file. So this is going to be smallest number.c. Right, and paste in that code. Save. Build project. Okay. And let's create a new launch configuration. Apply. Finish. Now we can run it. Okay, this one actually takes in some input, so let's put in, say, 85, negative 500, 0. So the smallest integer is negative 500. And that's it. That's it. Now, one thing you can do if you're not, you don't have to keep all these open. You could actually go to, let's say, ASCII art, right click, and you can actually close project. Okay, so if I'm not using that project, I can close it, but I won't be able to run it up here. Okay, I would need to open the project to be able to run it. One other quick thing I'll point out before we end this video. I discovered in Eclipse there's an issue with the basically printing and scanning from the console. So I believe what's happening is it's kind of buffering things before it writes it to the console. So one workaround you can do is to use this thing called set vbuff, and of course standard out is the console, and just put null 0, and then this underscore ION buff basically writes things out as fast as possible. So so if you were to go to c++.com, C library, set vbuff, you can look this up. This is a really good website. In set vbuff, if you look down here, this underscore ION buff says no buffering. So each IO operation is written as soon as possible. So basically that's what we want for these applications. So anyway, this is I really like this website, and it gives you the function prototypes, and then it'll give you some examples and things. This is really good. So if we go back here, so that's why I put that, this line here, because if I don't have this here, there will be some issue with printing and scanning. So anyway, yeah, so I think I'll end for right now. I just wanted to show you in Eclipse how you can write and develop C programs. So I'll end for right now. We won't go into like debugging and things like that. So this is just a quick introduction to get you started so that you can actually create some programs that will perform or solve whatever problem that you're looking to solve. Okay, that's all. I hope you found this useful.